Hello, KCH students. This is Mrs. Ramsden sharing your library lesson today with Mrs. Middleton. We're missing all of your smiling faces for sure. We thought this might be a great book, as many of us might be experiencing days where we have nothing to do. That is the title of our book today, Nothing to Do by Douglas Wood and illustrated by Wendy Anderson Halperin. Pay close attention to the detailed illustrations. You may just come up with some new ideas for what you can do when there's nothing to do. Once in a while, a day comes along where there's absolutely, positively nothing to do. And isn't that great? No school, no homework, no Little League, no dance class, no play rehearsal, no soccer practice, no computer camp, no anything. Just a white empty space in the calendar. Of course, some people get a little worried about these spaces. These people are very nice and wear big shoes, but we'll think about them a little later. But what do you do when there's absolutely nothing to do? Well, I've heard of wonderful stories about taking off your shoes and walking through green grass or mud in your bare feet, or making toy ships out of sticks and sailing them across a puddle that seems as wide as the ocean. I've heard about lying on your back and watching clouds turn from dinosaurs into crocodiles, into dragons, into bears, into butterflies, into clouds. Or lying on your stomach and watching an ant carry something 3 times bigger than he is while you wonder, how can he do that? And what do ants eat for breakfast that make them so strong? I've heard of making a paper airplane do loop-de-loops and barrel rolls in the soft summer air, then land smooth as butter on bread. Or building a fort, a secret place where no one can see you because you can't see them, and surviving for hours on peanut butter sandwiches and lemonade. I've heard about catching fireflies on a warm evening and putting them in a jar until you have 2 hands full of gold, and then letting them all go. I've heard of swinging until your toes touch the clouds or hanging by your knees like a monkey just to find out how a monkey feels. I've heard of climbing a good tree that's been waiting all its long life just to be climbed by you, or finding a quiet spot reading your very favorite book, and then reading it all over again. Just because it's your favorite. I've heard stories about exploring places that really need to be explored. About making angels in the snow or igloos or caves, or sledding or tasting icicles or throwing snowballs, or building round, fat men with orange noses and old hats who smile at everyone. Why, I've heard of swimming and building sandcastles and hopscotching and jump roping and running and throwing and bouncing and painting and drawing and playing with toys and puzzles and dolls and games and puppies and kittens and hamsters and gerbils and doing cartwheels or doing somersaults and doing, well, sometimes just doing nothing. And maybe one of the best ways to do nothing is to show someone else how to do it. Maybe even someone with big shoes. Just to remind them that sometimes doing nothing is the most important thing in the whole wide world to do. Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed the story. Check out this week's activity lesson. We can't wait to see what you like to do when there's nothing to do. You may even try something new.